Greetings, students. Professor Gomes here. I just thought I'd take this opportunity to create this video to give you a heads up of what you can expect for our Summer 2 College Algebra course. Hello, students. Welcome to the course. I'm excited to work with you this term to assist you in achieving your educational goals. I truly look forward to our class and getting to know each of you online. Please go through all the web pages to familiarize yourself on how we'll operate. Textbook is free. Please contact me if you have any challenges so we can work together to meet your needs. The best way to contact me is right here, my Massasoit email. Let me just start off with these key elements to your success. I would imagine, since this is a 5-week course, that the majority of you have already taken an online course, most likely here at Massasoit. I'll be very upfront. The good news is get the course done in 5 weeks. The bad news is you got to do it in 5 weeks. It's challenging. Basically, what we're doing is taking a 14-week course and condensing it down to 5 weeks. And pretty much covering all the material that we would cover if this were a face-to-face. But here again, by virtue of taking a 5-weeker, I'm assuming that you've already done this once, maybe twice before, so you're familiar with the workload. Key elements. Online courses can be just as rich and rewarding as face-to-face courses, but it takes a little more effort on everyone's part. The information in this post contains key elements. Have clear expectations. All right, online courses are convenient, but you have flexibility to do the assignments when you have time, but they're often just as challenging, if not more challenging, in a face-to-face course. The national consensus is it takes between 6 and 9 hours of your time each week. I suggest setting short sessions throughout the week in consistent times and days. You'll see our homework is posted on Mondays and Thursdays. Doing all-nighters, cramming isn't the best way to retain new information. I recommend you add your assignments to your calendar. Please read the syllabus. All right. Ask questions. In an online course, I can't see your confusion or frustration. If you're having a problem, speak up by sending me an email. Obviously, you don't want to wait till the last day of the exam to ask for clarification. You can use your notes during the exam. Please read all the announcements. These messages from me. They often have notices of changes, hints, and previews. Most importantly, to do well in this course, you may say, I've never done well in math. But if you log on to Canvas regularly, watch my videos, and you'll succeed in this course. Do yourself a favor. Don't just skate by. All right, what's the purpose in that? All right, some ideas of hints on how to do well in an online course. But once again, I'll say this again. I don't think that anyone's taking this course for the first time taking an online course. It's a lot of work. All right, I'm recording this on Sunday the 29th, and I'm going to send an email out with the link to YouTube for this video. All right, our course doesn't start until a week from tomorrow. But when you first log on to the course, right, prior to the course actually starting in a week, you'll be presented with this what I call the splash page. And what I suggest you do, right, is click on this first link, a course overview. Our course runs from Monday 7/7, right through August the 7th. All right, here's a link to the PDF of the college algebra syllabus, but pretty much everything that's contained in the syllabus you'll find on this, I call it the splash page. If you're brand new to Canvas, all right, please click on this Student Canvas Beginner's Guide. Course description right out of the catalog, all right, covers the algebra necessary for completion. To move on to pre-cal and calculus sequence, topics include using graphic utilities, polynomial operations, functions, absolute value, and so forth. Prerequisite, you got into this course by either taking a placement test or some sort of departmental approval. Student learning outcomes right out of the catalog. Course content here, inverse functions, algebra functions, linear. We'll get to all of this. And this is pretty important. This is a link to our OER textbook. You can view it online. You can actually download the entire text as a PDF, or you could actually order a print copy if you so desired. All right, this next link here is accessing the OpenStax, accessing our OER textbook. Pretty straightforward, as I mentioned up here, viewing it online, downloading a PDF of it. Teaching procedure. Homework assignments will be posted on Canvas each Monday and Thursday. This is kind of important, all right? People often ask, where do I upload the homework? All right, here's the deal. The homework problems are all multiple choice. And I give you the answers to the multiple choice questions on the very last page. So it doesn't make much sense that I'm going to collect something that I've already given you the answers to. All right? So homework, not collected nor graded. Please do not ask me, where do you upload it? If you're asking me that, you obviously have not read or watched this video. I'll conduct office hours, all right, to answer any questions. All right, picking the day and the time that suits most students is difficult, all right? We all have different work schedules, so right about now I'm saying each Friday at 5 o'clock I'll conduct a 1-hour office hour meeting to answer any questions, and this is the link. And here again, prior to these days, usually the Monday, I'll send out a reminder saying it's non-mandatory, but if you want to log on and I can answer questions, but here again, I'm always available via email. Super important here, all right? The course requires that you have a TI 8384 calculator, preferably an 84. The idea is you don't have to run out to Amazon or go to any store to pick one up, but you can actually rent one from a college. Now, if you've taken prior courses at Massasoit where a calculator was required, you knew you went online, you made an appointment with the library. Well, that's all changed. Here's the new procedure, all right? You simply go to the Brockton Library, you fill out the appropriate paperwork. Appointments are not needed. All right, there's a $20 rental fee, and that will be applied to your student bill. All right, at the end of the semester, you simply return it. Now, if you don't return, obviously, they're going to bill you $100, but it's pretty nice. You don't have to go and spend $100-some odd going to Amazon to buy a TI 84. You can just simply rent one. Simply go to the library. You don't need an appointment. All right, I see a mistake over here already. It tells me class assignments should be distributed Tuesday and Thursday. I'll make sure I change that. All right, once again, I repeat, homework is neither collected nor graded. We're looking at two exams. First one on 7/23 and the second one on 8/7. And I'll talk more about this as we get into the modules. Yeah, you get plenty of time to do these, and we'll talk about lockdown browser and a few other things. Grading policy, you see it all there. Here you can write out of the course catalog what constitutes an A or B and so forth. Here again, if you've been a student at Massasoit for some time, you know about this. Course topics repeated. Learning outcomes, academic dishonesty, student code of conduct, cheating, falsification. Hopefully that doesn't be applicable here. Grading process. It's nothing that's super important, along with renting a calculator, is if you have an IEP. You've been issued an IEP by the college. In most cases, in an online course, an IEP means that you have extended time to do the exam. So please, if you have an IEP, Individual Education Plan, make sure that I get a copy of that. All right. Make sure you contact the office, and then they send me a copy of your Individual Education Plan so I can make adjustments to the time. Affirmative action, equal opportunity, basic needs, how do you draw from a course, course appeals, incomplete grades. Please take the time to look this over, all this information. Once again, like I say, you can download a copy of the actual syllabus, but pretty much everything that's contained in the syllabus is on this page. Now, what happens is, once the course actually begins, all right, when you log on, instead of coming to this splash page, you'll go right into the learning modules, all right? And right now you're looking at my view of this. All of these units will not be published all at once. Now, important, this is super important. When it comes time to take one of the exams, all right, you're going to be required to have what's called a lockdown browser installed into your computer. All right, so I'm going to click on this. Important. All right, make certain to attempt what's called a practice quiz. All right, I'll show you just where that is in a moment. The practice quiz is not counted for the grade. When you take the practice quiz, it'll prompt you to download the lockdown browser. And what this does, if you watch this video, it prevents you from going anywhere else, going to YouTube or going to Google. The lockdown browser is required to take the exams. And what it does, it makes it fair for everyone, where you're kind of locked into the exam. You can't move anywhere else. Now, once you take the practice quiz, you'll download it. It'll be on your computer. There's a Mac version, a Windows version. If you have a Chromebook, there's a Chromebook version. All right. And here are the instructions for downloading it. If you have an issue, I'm saying make sure you take this practice quiz the first week, because you want to have this in your computer. All right. So when it comes time for the actual 2 quizzes, the minute you start it, your lockdown browser will open up. If you have any issues, all right, you can contact the IT help desk. You could either make a phone call, you can send an email, or you can actually go on campus and they can help you with any issues you have with downloading it. Super important, again, is watching this video.
If you're watching this video, you're probably required to use Lockdown Browser or Respondus Monitor for an online exam. Lockdown Browser is a different kind of browser. While taking an exam, you can't print, use other applications.
Alright, I'm not going to show that whole video. Make sure you watch it. It's only about 3 minutes long. Now, during our course, I refer to it as the test as exams. Canvas actually calls them quizzes. Alright, so how do you locate the quizzes is right here on the left-hand menu. Alright, if you click on that, quizzes. I'm going to go into what's called student view. Alright. You see my exam number 1, but that's not available until July 23rd. That's the day of the first test. Here's is what I want you to take. It's this practice exam. You'll click on it. You click on Take Quiz, and it'll prompt you to download Lockdown Browser. Once you're out of the quiz, you close down Lockdown Browser, and your machine will be right back to where it was. You can use your Chrome or whatever you're using. All right. Once you take the practice exam, Lockdown Browser will be installed in your computer, and when it comes time to take the actual exam, you'll already have it. When you click on Take the Exam, Lockdown Browser automatically fires up. It may sound a little complicated, but people have no problem, downloading this. All right. Here again, the practice quiz does not count for your grade at all. All right, what else do we got over here? I'm going back to modules. What I'll do is, once I record this, finish recording it, I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel, and you'll find it under opening remarks video if you want to watch the video again. This is just a link to tell you, remind you how to go about getting a calculator. All right. You just simply show up at the library, all right? You don't need an appointment and a like. That's changed, made it a lot easy. Being successful in this course, there's always a tendency, I can do that later, all right? You'll have readings and homework. Homework is not collected, but it's a good idea if you do the homework, obviously. Time commitment, contacting me via email. and alike. Predicting your success. This is a video by this young lady. It's referred to as grit, and what the concept of the video says. It's not always the smartest person that does the best in any course. It's the person who is grittiest, the person who has stick-to-itiveness and works through problems, and he logs on to my YouTube, to my Zoom meetings, asks questions, posts to the discussion board. All right, not giving up and spending the time that's necessary. All right, having grit, being gritty. Life advice. This is a video of Denzel Washington. He's doing a commencement exercise at the University of Pennsylvania, and what he talks about is perseverance. Meaning, when he first decided he flunked out of college initially, and he decided to go into acting, and he talks about going for auditions and getting denied, and he kept on going back and back, and finally he landed a part, and he went on to be one of the most talented and more movies than a lot of people. He has a lot of success, obviously, in movies. All right, talking about perseverance. Take the opportunity to watch this video. It's not that long. It's inspiring. All right, getting started with Canvas here again, the Canvas guide. If you're having issues with Canvas, you can obviously call the Massasoit Help Desk, and there's the number right there. Let me go back to modules here. All right, life advice, getting started, Canvas quick links. All right, updating your profile, viewing your grades. Right over here, you can see your grades. Using the inbox. And it's not recommended that you use a mobile device. There are issues. Hopefully you've got a PC or a MacBook of alike. Downloading. By virtue of being a student at Massasoit, you can download Office 365. It's great for looking at Word files. Of course, hopefully you have Adobe Reader on your computer, but it's not a bad idea to download a copy of Microsoft Office. It's free as long as you're a student here at Massasoit. Pretty nice. Basic computer requirements. Java, not so much. Adobe Reader, yes. QuickTime, no. Microsoft's now change all this. Adobe Reader is the only thing I see that's really required to view the homework assignments, which are all PDFs. All right, going back to modules. Here's a quick link. Tech services and resources. I just did that. How many videos are there? I mean, I'm always available. And doing the course, I have a lot of videos using the TI, and I'm pretty thorough at explaining it. But if you're having an issue with your TI, whether it be an 83, the library will actually give you an 84. But there's so many videos on YouTube. If you're having difficulty doing a graphic, let's say a quadratic equation, you go to YouTube, you pop in your question, and you'll find a plethora of videos. All right, there's a PDF guide, but YouTube has so many different videos available. All right, here it is. You click on your grades there when I start, the courses. It says homework here, but there's no homework. I'll take all of this off. Homework is not collected nor graded, so that won't be an issue. I don't know why that's actually even there. All right, going back to modules. So that's the first that you'll see this when you, between now and next Monday. All right, when you click on modules, that's where you'll go to. Now, people often say, well, I'm not seeing anything. Well, here's the idea. Notice what happens. When I put my mouse over this gray area, it turns into a hand. And if I click it, all the modules, all the different pages show up. If I want to close that up, click again. Oh, I could use this little arrow over here. All right, so here again, you're familiar with that because you've taken courses in Canvas before. All right, what I'm going to do here, if I click on homework for unit number 1. Now, let me just kind of show you what's going on here. Let's say Monday 7/7, the first day. No, it's Monday and Thursday. Monday and Thursday is when I'm assigning homework, not collected nor graded. If I click on this, pretty much just gives you an idea of what you're going to encounter for the whole course. I start out with a reading. This is from our OEI free textbook. Then there's a PowerPoint. Here again, you've downloaded Microsoft Office onto your computer. You've got access to PowerPoint, all right? Good idea to watch the PowerPoint, to download them and watch them. But what I also have is a voiceover for the PowerPoint. This is actually as if... All right, this is the first PowerPoint, section 1.1, Introduction to Graphing. Plotting points, determining whether or not it pairs or so. What I'm actually doing is going through the PowerPoint listed above, as if we were in class and I would be going through it. I recommend downloading the actual PowerPoint, but what I also have for you as a resource is the PowerPoint in Google Slides. You notice I'm just clicking through here and it's showing me all the slides, all right? I would suggest downloading the actual PowerPoint, but Google Slides is another way to view it, all right? Now, I've got many videos. A lot of them come from Khan Academy. The coordinate plane, ordered pairs, ordered pair solutions, the distance formula, finding the radius and the center of a circle. This is another video dealing with working with your TI calculator. All right. I go out of my way to give you as many resources as I possibly can, and a lot of them are in video format. Now, the first assignment, all right, it's a PDF. Do section 1.1. All right, that's what I say here. It's your benefit not to watch the solution video until you've actually done the homework. What I've done here is now for every section, I assign the homework, in this case here, section 1.1, and then I have a YouTube video where I actually go through the homework. You can see me, what I'm doing right here is I'm actually going to do the problem all out, step by step, all right? And I do this for each and every homework assignment. But what I'm saying is don't watch the solution video until you have actually completed the homework. All right, so that's 1.1. And then we push on in this first day, this first Monday. Reading section on functions and notations. What is a function? Here again, I do the same thing. I provide you with a PowerPoint. Then I have a voiceover of that PowerPoint as if we were in class, and I have the Google Slides of that PowerPoint. Then I'm saying, hey, you need to do section 1.2. And it's just like above, I've got a video. In this case, I broke it into two different videos of me actually going through the homework problems. All right, this is section 1.2. Here, and I do it step by step. Folks, I've got so many resources, but the idea is, you can see, right off the top here, this very first day, I'm asking you to get through two different sections. Once again, I'll say this. It's a great thing that we get it done in 5 weeks, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. You're taking almost a 14 or 15-week course, and you're condensing it down to 5 weeks. It's I'm not going to, it's a lot of work, but it can be done. All right, obviously you've signed up for this, so you're aware of what's going on. All right, so that's the first assignment. Now, if I move on to the second, it's just a repeat. All right, I'm asking you to watch some videos, interval notation, a TI-84 tutorial, evaluating functions, and I keep on going. Here we are to section 1.3. All right, watch the PowerPoint voiceover. Then there's the Google Slides. How to reset your calculator. All right, and then I do the same thing. Here's the video for the homework 1.3. After you've completed it, watch the video. I do things out step by step, just as if I was in class working on the whiteboard. Then we push on to section 4.4. In most cases, each homework day, either Monday or Thursday, you'll have 2 sections to get through. All right, there's all sorts of videos, and there's section 1.4, same idea, and there's the homework. All right, let me go back to modules. What I'll do is I'll post all of this. You'll see all of this posted, all right? So if you have more time, let's say on a Tuesday than a Wednesday, you can actually move ahead. Now, let's see, Monday the 21st, I'm talking about our first exam. And I tell you, all right, what sections it's going to include. What usually happens with these exams is I open it up, in this case on Wednesday the 23rd, I'll open the exam up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'll keep it open until 12 o'clock the next day. And in most cases, you've got somewhere around 90 minutes to complete the exam. All right. So it's open for those 28 hours. Doesn't mean you have 28 hours. Once you begin it with your lockdown browser, you'll have 90 minutes to complete it. And another thing is, once you answer a question, you can't go back to a previous question. All right. And then we're moving on. All right. I'm asking you to, on this Monday, sections 2.1, 2.2, and so forth. Once we've completed unit number 1, I've combined units 2 and 3, and we'll get to it here, right? And on Monday, the 8.4, I'm talking about exam number 2, which will include those sections. All right. A lot of stuff here, but here again, I wanted to take the time to do this, to give you a heads up of what you can expect. And once again, you won't see all of this when you log on between now and next Monday. You go, as I said, you'll go to this splash page here, if I go find it. All right. What I want you to do is look at the course overview, click on learning modules, and then you'll see this welcome and getting started page. All right, right here, with some basic information. And always feel free to email me. What I'll try to do is, well, not try, but if I hopefully remember, is to actually record these Zoom meetings. And they're non-mandatory. But if you have the opportunity, here again, I'm available online. E-tutoring, yeah, that's great, but you can also contact, that's not working, that link. You can obviously contact the ARC. The ARC is available for face-to-face tutoring, and they also offer remote tutoring. What I'll do is maybe I'll post something if you're familiar with the ARC. The discussion board, let's say in Unit 1 here. All right, how do I post to the discussion board? You can watch that. People can post questions. It's not bad, and the idea of the discussion board, everybody sees your question and sees my response. But I would recommend, emailing me would be a better way of getting a question answered. But the discussion board is another option. All right, another option. So, hopefully I've given you an idea. Please email. I can't stress the importance of, getting to Massasoit Library, Brockton campus. You don't want to be in a situation where a lot of online courses and people are renting calculators and they run out. All right, make sure you get that TI. I'm talking about an 84. If you've got an 83 at home, it'll work. The 84 will be better, and that's what the library will give you. All right, so getting that, and also this first week is attempting right here, the, if I view as a student, attempting this practice quiz and downloading the lockdown browser to your computer. Once it's installed, when it comes time for the exams, 723 and 84 I believe it was, when you click on the exam, lockdown browser will start up. And like the video says, if you have other programs open, it'll prompt you to close those programs. All right, look forward to working with you. I'm available by email and to have any questions, and I'm hoping we have a successful semester. All right, good talking to you.